AI, it seems like it's everywhere, right? Every week there's some new crazy thing that AI can do, and it's all happening in the cloud on these huge servers miles away. But what if we could bring that power to, your pocket, your device?
Yeah, I mean, it's true. We always hear about AI in the cloud, but on-device AI, it's a whole different ballgame. It's about taking those powerful AI models and running them directly on your devices, like your phone, your laptop, even your watch.
Right, so no more sending your data off into the void, which is a perfect segue to the app we're diving into today, GyPTix. It's free, it's on Apple devices, and lets you try out this whole on-device AI thing. So for someone using GyPTix, like, what does that actually look like? What's the difference?
Well, one of the biggest things is privacy. GyPTix is all about keeping your data local. So no data going to servers. You don't even need an account. No internet permissions needed.
Wow, so wait, if I'm using GyPTix to, say, translate a website in another language, none of that text is being sent to a server. It's all happening right there on my phone.
Exactly. It's all processed locally right on your device, which means your info stays private and secure. That's a big deal, especially these days when everyone's worried about data privacy.
For sure. So we've got privacy covered. But there's got to be a downside, right? I mean, does doing everything locally mean it's going to be low? I'm all for privacy, but I also need my apps to be, fast.
You'd think so, right? But that's what's so cool about GPTs. It's actually incredibly fast. And the secret is that it runs directly on your device's hardware. It uses something called the neural engine, which is built into Apple Silicon chips. It cuts out all that back and forth with the internet so you get instant results even offline.
So if I'm somewhere with no signal, like out hiking, and I need to translate a sign, I can just snap a picture with GPTs and get an instant translation.
Exactly. Or imagine editing photos on the go. Applying those AI-powered filters in real time without waiting for anything to upload or process, it's a completely different experience.
Okay, that is impressive. But how does it actually work? I mean, our phones don't have unlimited power and memory, right? How does GPTix manage to run these complex AI models without completely draining my battery or, making my phone explode?
That's a good question, and that's where the whole mixture of experts thing comes in. It's called MOE for short, and it's pretty clever. Basically, instead of one massive AI model trying to do everything, you have a bunch of smaller specialized AI models, like a team of experts.
So instead of like a jack of all trades, it's more like having a brain surgeon, a rocket scientist, and a master chef all ready to tackle different problems.
Yeah, exactly. And just like you wouldn't ask the chef to do brain surgery, JPTX has this system that figures out which expert is the best one for the job. Only that specific AI model gets activated, which saves a ton of processing power and battery life.
Oh, I see. So it's like having a whole library of AI skills available, but you only have to pay for the ones you're actually using. That's pretty neat. But what about the AI models themselves? Where does GyPTX get its AI power from?
Well, currently, GyPTix is using these models from IBM. They're called Granite 3.1, and they're pretty much the cutting edge as of right now in February 2025. You've probably heard of IBM. They're the ones with those supercomputers that can do all that crazy data crunching.
Oh, yeah, IBM. Right. So, I mean, obviously our phones aren't supercomputers, but are we talking like a scaled-down version of that power in GyPTix?
You could say that. These Granite models are designed to be both powerful and efficient, even on devices with limited resources like our phones. And there are actually a few different versions. There's the 8B and 2B dense models, which are already pretty compact. And then there are even smaller MoE models like the 3BA800M and 1BA400M.
Okay, those model names are a bit confusing, but I'm guessing the smaller the model, the less power it needs, which is good for battery life, right?
Yep, that's the idea. And it's super important for on-device AI where battery life and performance are always a concern. These MoE models are particularly cool because they're really good at things like understanding instructions and using tools, which is exactly what you want from an AI assistant on your phone.
This is all super interesting, but AI is always changing so fast. Can GyPTT keep up with the latest and greatest models? I mean, I'm already thinking about what even more powerful AI could do on my phone.
That's a great point. And it brings us to the idea of a pro version of GyPTTs. Imagine a version that could handle even bigger, more powerful AI models. I'm talking about models like DeepSeek's 671B v3, which are insanely powerful, but way too big for most phones to handle right now.
So, like AI so powerful that it would make my phone melt.
Haha, maybe not that extreme, but these models are huge, however they can be optimized. So imagine a pro version of GyPTTs running on something like a high-end laptop or a Mac mini. It could take advantage of Apple Silicon and all that RAM to run specially tuned versions of these bigger models. It would bring next-level AI power to your device while still keeping everything offline.
Wow, that sounds pretty futuristic. But let's be realistic for a second. On-device AI is great for privacy and speed, but it can't be as powerful as cloud-based AI, right? I mean, cloud AI has access to all those giant data centers and basically unlimited processing power.
You're right, there are trade-offs, but GyPTix is constantly evolving, and as technology gets better, those limitations might not be such a big deal. A pro tier with those optimized, larger models could really bridge the gap. You'd get the best of both worlds.
Yeah, I guess it all comes down to what's more important to you, right? Like, is it that peace of mind knowing your data is safe on your own device? Or do you just want the most powerful AI even if it means your data is going to the cloud? It's interesting, though. This whole conversation has made me rethink AI. Like, I used to think it was all about what AI could do for me, but now I'm starting to see the bigger picture.
Yeah, it's not just about the tasks, it's about control. On-device AI like GyPTix, they puts you back in the driver's seat. It's about deciding where your data goes, how it's used, who has access to it. It's a big shift.
It really is. When we started talking about on-device AI, I was thinking about the practical stuff, like speed, privacy, convenience. But now I'm realizing it's deeper than that. It's almost like a philosophical thing.
It is. It's a whole different way of thinking about our relationship with technology. I mean, think about it. For so long, powerful AI has been this thing that's locked away in these data centers controlled by big tech companies. And now we're talking about bringing that power to everyone, to individuals.
Yeah, it's like this whole new era of personal empowerment through technology. It's not just about what we can do with AI, but how it changes our relationship with our devices, with information with each other.
Exactly. We're moving away from this model where we're constantly sending our data out to the world, and we're moving toward a model where we can process and analyze that data ourselves. It's like the difference between relying on a public library and having your own personal library right at your fingertips.
That's a great way to put it. And it feels like GyPTix is like this early glimpse into that future. It shows us what's possible when we start thinking about AI as something that's personal, something that we have control over.
Absolutely. And as exciting as that is, it also means we have to think carefully about how this technology is being developed and used. It's a conversation we all need to be a part of.
For sure. Well, as we wrap up this deep dive into on-device AI, I think that's my biggest takeaway. It's not just a cool new technology. It's an opportunity to really reshape our digital world in a way that benefits everyone.
I couldn't agree more. And as on-device AI keeps evolving, it's going to be fascinating to see what new possibilities come up and how we as individuals and as a society choose to shape that future.
Well, that's about all the time we have for today. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into on-device AI with GyPTix. I hope you learned a few things and maybe even got inspired to explore the world of AI a bit more yourself.
Until next time.